With so many cryptocurrencies in existence, it can be very difficult to find the right trade. My name is EQ and welcome to Alchemy.meta. In this video, I'll be doing a step-by-step walkthrough to show you how I find the best cryptocurrency to day trade today. Now, the first website that I start every day with is our website, alchemymeta.io. On the homepage, if you click Market Updates in Crypto, this will be your easiest and fastest aggregate for news feeds. You also get a 24-hour heat map as well as the top 25 cryptos for the day. We're going to get into these more as the video goes on, but this page is a great start to figure out exactly what's happening in the market, the swing sentiments for the day, if we're getting more bull or bear news, if we're looking a little overbought or oversold, and even which projects have the most potential upside. Once I go through this list, the next website I'm going to be going to is CoinGecko.com. One of the first resources I use is going to be CoinGecko.com. Now, under CoinGecko, if you go to coins and you go to discover, you'll be able to get onto this page right here. This will show you the trending searches, most voted coins, the positive sentiment, recently added, most visited, and the top trending coins in which country. Now, when you're looking at this list, you'll see a lot of big names that come up on every list, like Zilliqa, Axie Infinity, Loopring, VeChain, Cardano. These are the ones we're going to keep an eye on because typically these are going to be the ones that have the most volume, be it good volume or bad volume. And the one in this group that's really going to grab my attention is Zilliqa. So after I look at these projects, the next thing I'm going to want to do is go to CryptoBubbles.net. These are going to be weekly bubbles. You can change them and set them to dailies or weeklies, but I like to leave it at a weekly. And sure enough, we can see Zill right here sitting at 238% up on the week, which would tell me that more than likely there was a lot of bullish news that came in on Zilliqa. Now, this is a critical factor in my trading strategies. When I see the weekly like this, I'm very less inclined to buy because I don't want to be chasing green candles. So when I'm looking at the crypto bubbles and this on the weekly is very green like this, I'm looking to find good short potentials and possible shorting opportunities to catch some weakness in the market while still being able to ride the harmonics of this bullish upswing. This is something we go over a lot in the Alchemy trading group. And again, right off the bat, Zilliqa is going to grab my attention as I am looking for potential shorts. Just because the market is so green, I don't want to be chasing green candles. So after I go to the weekly bubbles and look at the overall sentiment, I'll take a look at the daily bubbles through coin360.com. Now keep in mind, all of these are free resources, so you don't have to pay to use any of these. And looking at the daily performance, we are starting to see some red come into the market. Bitcoin's down 1%, ETH is down 2%. We're starting to see some of the bigger altcoins turning red. And if we look a little bit closer, we can see Zill on this list as well is very green, heavily overbought in comparison to the rest of the market, which would lead me to believe that there's a lot of potential for Zill to take a healthy retracement, maybe even fulfill some Fibonacci levels, so we can find a positive support and continue to move up. And it makes me a little more confident getting into shorts in this situation, knowing that the weekly bubbles are green and the daily bubbles are starting to turn red. So there is a good chance that we might be catching the first little bit of this swing. And to play devil's advocate, the vice versa of this is that maybe we are finding some hidden bullish divergences and things like that that will allow price action to find some supports, mainly Bitcoin for this conversation, so that we could potentially push up and test 50,000. Once I've gone through here and I've confirmed my bias that I do want to short Zill or I'm looking for any potential to short Zill, the next thing I'll do is go to CryptoPanic.com, which is going to be a news aggregate source. This is probably my favorite fundamental analysis news source at the moment. And then here I'll type in Zill or Zilliqa and see if there's any new information that's coming out on the project. The last major news that was coming out for Zilliqa was when they were releasing Metropolis. And that was really the driving factor in this price impulse. If you were to buy Zilliqa earlier this week, you would have been up almost 3x on your investment already, which is fantastic to see for Zilliqa and Metropolis. But when you get massive pumps like that, the relief dump is going to be just as strong, or is expected to be just as strong, which is why we're looking at this for short positions as well, because you're starting to deflate and lose some of that positive sentiment within the news itself, aka this is becoming old news. And this would be a great opportunity as a market mover or market manipulator to take some profits and leave other people, aka retail traders, holding the bag. So now that my bias is also confirmed on the fundamental analysis side, the last step when looking to find the best play is going into the charts. And looking on the daily chart at Zill, we are heavily overbought. We're up almost 50% on the day already. And you can see we've already gone through this massive impulse move. So this is not something that I would consider or want to buy or even recommend buying anywhere near this point. Now, this isn't financial advice, but you don't want to chase green candles and you definitely don't want to buy the top of a skyscraper. If you weren't interested in buying Zill down here or you weren't interested in buying it over here, don't bother buying it up here. Because more than likely, probability wise, if you wait on this a couple days to weeks, you might get a nice little pullback and you're going to be losing a lot of money. And if you have paper hands, you might close out. And next thing you know, when you close out, this is going to find a support and take its next impulse move. That's just how the crypto market works. And when I zoom out a little bit on this daily chart, I want to add a horizontal ray just so I can get a nice little line to confirm this. But right in this general area around 15 cents, we've already seen major resistances happen, wicking, and price downfalls from this point. So if we are to see some sort of exhaustion in this general area, based on the historical data of Zilliqa, we could see a pullback probability-wise, and there's a high potential of a pullback, potentially coming down to this point of control or this POC range, which is given to us by the VPVR, one of our favorite indicators in the Alchemy trading group. And then when you're actually looking for entries, you want to zoom in, or what we call sniper entries. So that consists of going to the daily and zooming all the way down to the 15 minute to see when you can gauge the best possible entry. So off the bat, I go into the 4 hour. I can see there is a lot of bullish sentiment still in the market. There isn't too much telling me that this downtrend is imminent and that it's fully converting down to a bearish downtrend. When you drop down into the hourly, you start to see a little bit more weakness, a little more signs of overbought activity on the RSI. Your bullish trend is starting to die a little bit, even though the trend is increasing. So ideally, we want to see this red line start to come up a little bit more to confirm that bears are entering the market. And the last thing we really want to see is the MACD start to curve down and your VFI to break this support and turn back into bearish formation. Zooming in a little bit more, we'll get into the 30-minute chart, and you can see the trend is dying even faster. You're starting to hit a confirmation on the overbought, and you have a lower high on your RSI. So here's your higher high, here's the lower high. When that was created, your fast stochastic dropped to oversold. And similarly to the hour, we still want to see this MACD and the VFI pull down. We're still not quite there, but we're getting there, getting closer into the 15-minute time frame and shorter time frames. You're starting to see the bear activity pick up. The VFI is starting to break down. Your MACD is starting to break down. So on the shorter time frames, you're starting to see this potential weakness and exhaustion, but you don't necessarily see it just yet on the 1 hour. So at this moment, what you're really waiting for is a confirmation of resistance. So proof and verification that this is a resistance and that this is a hard price to break. So really what we're waiting for at the moment is going to be a confirmation. We want to confirm that this is in fact a resistance at this point, and that price will actually start to move back down. Now, one of your strongest indicators of that is if we start to get this bearish crossover. I'll drop the link to the video if you haven't watched our bearish crossover video, which is one of our favorite strategies to use. And as the day continues, we will keep an eye on Zilliqa, wait for that true confirmation of resistance, and get a nice short entry in. And there you have it. Now that you officially know how to find the best potential trades for the day, remember that practice is everything. The more you practice these skills, the better you'll be able to master your craft. If you found anything in this video useful, please take a second to throw a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to take your trading to the next level, make sure to check out our Alchemy trading group. Hopefully you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're watching this in the world, and we'll catch you on the next one.